Hey guys, it's me, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a great day. I'm so very excited to be here. We have a return guest. You guys know I love return guests because I like progress. No,
Yes.
I don't like progress. I love progress. I love when
Look,
people come back and they're like, look, I got another book, I got another angle, I got this, I got that. That means that creativity is flourishing. And we have Mr. Andrew Patrick Craig. That is not actually his full name. His full name, and I have to go look at it because it's a long one. It's a long name, but that's okay because I want to make sure that I say this right. And I'm looking for it now. Don't say anything. It's okay. Don't say a word. Don't spoil it for anybody. I got it here. I know I do. It is. Let me see. Let me make sure. I'm going to the site now to find out. Okay, here we go. His full name is Andrew Patrick Timothy Michael Craig. Now that sounded like I was like saying it from one of those cute movies, like Disney movies or something, where they said Andrew Patrick Timothy. It's so cute, and I absolutely love it. And I want to welcome him to the show today. Thank you so much for joining us.
thank you for having me back, Yaya. Come on.
Anytime.
You are a diamond in my life, I tell you for
Aw,
sure.
thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. So I want to talk about the name. I don't know if we ever went over that. Tell
Yeah,
me
the,
about this.
yeah, the name. In the book, I say I was killed twice. Okay, I was crushed
Right.
under a car when I was 5 years, 9 months old. My name at that time was John Lonigan Craig. My senior beings took, I was too badly crushed under the right front wheel, so my senior beings took my energetic bodies back through space and time to the instant of my birth and dropped me on the baby as I was smacked on the back and I took my backside, took my first breath. And they changed my name to Andrew Patrick Timothy Michael Craig. It's a name of saints, apostles, archangels. It's a power name. It's an 11, a 33, an 11, a 33, and 11. It adds to a 99. You know, there's all this profound, powerful numerology in it and spiritual energy in it. So they prepared me better for the second trip. I still got hit by the car, but they distracted the driver, and I was able to get 2 or 3 steps out in front, and the car hit me square in the mouth and
Mm.
knocked all my teeth out back to my molars and slammed my head down so hard I had cerebral hemorrhaging and died again. But these two angel arms and hands reached out of the sky and wrapped my head in their hands and bathed me in intense white light and healed me back to life. And then they were gone. So,
Wow.
you know, I say I was killed twice, and people will say, "Oh, you mean a near-death experience?" I say, "Oh, no, no. This for me was the real McCoy." Okay, other
Wow.
people may have different things, but so I got the name because I needed the name to walk the path I'm walking. Okay.
Mm. Wow. Wow. And there's something about numerology as well. Like you're into numerology. Tell me, you say you're a six,
Yeah.
right? A six. What is that and how did you come up with that? Because I want to know.
Okay. Your birth date is your life path. So I'm born September 18th, 1950. So the 9181950 equals 33. So there's another 33. Normally at 33, which is a spiritual teacher, normally when you get to a double number like that, you stop. But with a life path, you have to go to a single digit. So the 3 plus the 3 equals a 6. And that's the arena of life in which I will have the most difficult uh, obstacles to overcome. And that arena is family and community. And we've talked about family a bit
Yeah.
already, but community also is no slouch in this
No.
game. I mean, it's just so anyhow, but it helped inform me about how to uh, be of benefit. And so when I took to writing these penguin books, immediately I shifted to something that was uh, a complete what difference from how I experience the human species, and that is the penguin species. They treat each other like each one of them is vitally important to each one of their lives. And so in here, we're lucky if there's 10 people around us that we would give our life for, but the penguins, they're all in, So
Wow.
anyhow, that was one thing. And and then I really didn't know at the time we would go down the rabbit hole of, I'm going to call it the Vladanalan,
Okay.
Vladon,
Mhm.
Elon, kind of like Benifer or Brangelina, the fancy
Okay.
names that they put couples together. Well, this is a triplet, okay? And I didn't realize we'd go down that rabbit hole, but that is the most horrendous rabbit hole we could have gone down. It is just a complete nightmare that they have formed this unholy alliance,
Mm.
and so we're not blessed by that, but I just wanted to coin a name for them, the Vladon Elan, and
Okay.
see if we can't just get that out there on Colbert or something like that, huh?
Yes.
Anyhow, it's just that's the community part of it, right?
Mhm.
That's the
Yeah.
community. But when I wrote the book, I created a whole new species of penguins, of penguin derived human beings on a whole new fifth dimensional planet Earth. And that's basically what I did in doing that was I created the failsafe. No
Mhm.
matter how bad it gets, we have a whole, and I created 300,000 years in the past, and
Mm.
at the time it's separated from the the current Earth and the species that we're in right now. It's
Mhm.
separated at that time, 300,000 years in the past. And I took them all around the universe, raised them up into fifth dimensional consciousness, went and had a conversation with Source itself,
Mhm.
and was joyfully received. And the penguins and I just had a spectacular time talking with Source, and he was 100% with us. We went back 300,000 years in the past, and I put them on the planet, and they created the fifth dimensional planet. They lifted their Mother Earth to the fifth dimension of consciousness 300,000 years before this. This is a species of human beings. This species of human beings was scientifically engineered or designed to have a colony mind, to be of profound uh, assistance to each other, okay,
Mhm.
and not this kind of Vladon stuff, okay. So
Yeah, I got.
they've been doing that for 300,000 years, okay, and that species has been growing, and that planet has been growing, and so now when people reincarnate on the planet, they may be reincarnating onto that other planet and being trained in higher order thought, okay?
Ooh.
Or people from the other planet may be incarnating onto this planet and,
Mhm.
beginning to lift Mother Earth no matter what the rest of the dumb butts on the planet think, okay? I, I'm telling you, you know, you, I had no idea what I was doing. I just did it, you
Mm.
know? I had kind of a, epiphany or what have you, and just started writing it and stuff. And Shugla had said, hey, maybe you might want to start writing. That's all he said. That
Wow.
was the entire guidance. So anyhow, I think we're in great shape because we have a mature fifth dimensional planet with fifth dimensional uh, species of human beings on it. And they've been watching us for the last 300,000 years. They,
Wow.
they know our pathologies deeply. They know how to penetrate that and and allow for this planet to not be turned into a fireball. And they know how
Mhm.
to take this planet to the fifth dimension of consciousness where she won't be turned into a fireball. It's a
Like.
brilliant story. It just hasn't been fully told yet. Hasn't been fully told, you know.
Mm. Mm.
But anyhow, I've had a great time writing it and being immersed in it, so to speak.
It sounds like it. I mean, okay, so you're kind of in there. You're really involved with it, and that happens to all writers. Apparently, when you're writing something, you kind of it becomes real for you.
Oh
And
yeah.
oh my gosh, so you said you had a statement earlier, and I wanted to get into that really quick because I think that your statement was very revolutionary. I think that people need to hear that.
Okay. Well, I had. So anyhow, when I wrote the book, I had no idea that we would, be beset by what I refer to as the Ladon Elan.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
they they are completely all about themselves, and the other 8 billion people on the planet, you know, unless you're in service to them, too bad. Anyhow, but it I had no confidence that the species could be penetrated. We have our lives planned. We plan our meals. We plan when we're going to get married, when we're going to, buy a house. We're planners, so we're constantly in this planning emotional mode. And so I don't know how you can. So that's why I created the new species and the new planet. And so we have 575 years. Stephen Hawking's deemed to be the most brilliant human being that ever lived in this species, at least. He predicted before he passed that the Earth would be a fireball in the year 2600. And so we have 575 years. Now, human beings live 3 years in spirit for every 1 year on average, or every 1 year in the physical. So if you live to 75 years, you live 225 years in spirit. That's a 300-year end to end. So from incarnating, living that life, and having your spirit, and then incarnating the next time is 300 years. Well, that means we only have this life and one more before we're reincarnating on a fireball planet or so something has to be done. The imperative is extreme. This is not like something you cannot read about, not look at. This is absolutely imperative to every soul on the planet that they get into this game. I mean, it's just
Wow.
it's the end game of a fireball planet is just too severe, and and there's no escaping it. So um, I've set up a alternate planet that won't be a fireball planet. I've set up another species of human beings that can lift this planet to the fifth dimension of consciousness and save her from being turned into a fireball.
My
Okay.
God.
And then we have other also that planet and that species of human beings can serve as kind of a university for beings that want to reincarnate to go moving towards higher ground. Instead of reincarnating on this planet, they reincarnate on that other planet. Okay,
Wow.
transference between the two of them. So
That
it's a
that
damn near a story of magic, you know.
I know, right? But I mean, think about it. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here on a fireball.
No, yeah, I'll skip that. I'll skip that.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think I will too.
our souls are immortal. When
Mm,
Source went boom and created the universe with the Big Bang, it boomed out godzillions of these little packets of itself, and Source cannot be destroyed, and none
yeah.
of these little packets of itself can be destroyed, and that's our soul. And anything every sentient being has a soul. So an elephant has a soul, a mouse has a soul, a dog has a soul, cat has a soul. If you see a sent
How about a mosquito? Do mosquitoes have souls? Hello. Oh, you froze. You're frozen. Okay, go ahead.
well, so one of the impediments to ascension is
All right, go
yeah.
ahead.
So I think there's going to be a very rich engagement between the species of the two planets, and it's going to be just so profoundly successful in lifting this current species of human beings up to the fifth dimension of consciousness, as well as lifting this planet to the fifth dimension of consciousness. And it really needs to be done. It's an abomination to have a planet be uh, turned into a fireball. It's just not something that's something we want to be associated with, and we can change it. So anyhow, I was getting back to earlier having issues with family and community, which is what my sixth. I had calculated it from my birthday, which is September 18th, 1950. If you add each number across comes out to a 33, then you add the 33, the 3 plus 3 equals 6.
Mm-hmm.
So with respect to community, my community for the last 30 years has been with higher spiritual beings, and in particular over the last 20 years has been with a channel of great note. We are now in conflict. She has written a book, and she had asked me to, well, I would say she had demanded that I depublish my book so,
Ooh.
so that it would not cause any conflicts, and I declined.
Of course.
But
Really?
anyhow, I'm sure she has her reasons for it and things like that. But we'll see. She's about to release her own book, so that will obviously have some other energies in it, and probably some wonderful information, and will be very helpful to maybe millions of people. The thing is, this is not a right answer thing. This is only an answer that is, I call it a generous listening. If you listen, if you have a judgmental listening, you listen from being right, and the other being wrong. Even if the other is yourself, you're listening from being right, and you're absolute, and there's no opening for the other to have anything other than to be wrong. And we're trained in it from birth, and it's just a horrendous thing that we have. It's a pathology we have as a species. Okay. But I've coined a phrase called generous listening, and generous listening listens for inspiration, and it listens for the opportunity to inspire.
Mm.
And I can burst into laughter, almost at will, because generous listening is inspirational. And when you start ping-ponging inspiration back and forth with another person,
Mm-hmm.
you grow and you get larger. You can feel the room around you getting larger. Your heart's getting larger.
Mm-hmm.
This joy just can't be contained within you. And that's why wouldn't you want that? Because judgmental listening makes you small, makes everybody and everything around you small. You can hear when somebody's really on a rant, how there's nothing to say. You just want to leave. There's no conversation going on. So anyhow, I think it's probably just that simple thing of generous listening is as powerful as anything I've ever spoken.
Mm.
From my standpoint, that
Wow.
listening for inspiration and the opportunity to inspire. And when you just say that to people, complete strangers, they stop what they're saying, and within like 20 seconds to a couple minutes, they shift completely into what they would love to tell you.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then you just start opening up, ping ponging back and forth, and then you have a story to tell when you get home or when you get to your work or something. Like, you have a story to tell. I was riding with a guy today, da 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 da. And the next thing I knew, I was laughing my tail end off, and I felt like just the happiest person on the planet. How did that happen? Yeah,
Wow.
it's predictable if you just work with the generous listening for inspiration and the opportunity to inspire.
Mm.
So I hope the book kind of fits into that role too. That it's
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's very interesting that you would take a real life experience and turn it into, well, it's not really turned into, but kind of like parallel it. Am I right? With the fantasy.
right. It is.
So
Yeah,
it's
it is. Yeah, it has informed the conversation. Okay, my life has informed the conversation, and so when you study your life, when you think through what in the heck actually happened, you
yeah.
know, as opposed to just being in grief about this part and being happy about the other part, then a whole bunch of stuff because you only get the reason you have 3 years in spirit for every 1 year in the physical is because you get to dissect every small nuance of your whole life
Mm,
from the 1 year and to learn from it. And so you don't have to learn that stuff again. You're just fixed on that.
right.
However inadequate to those types of situations you were, or things like that, you don't have to do that again and go
Mm,
through the hardship of the learning of not to do it, or not to be
wow.
near people like that. And find additional ways to just walk away from things.
Wow.
you
So
know,
I'm so curious. Like, okay, so you said, now I got to get a pen out because I'm more like I have to write it down in order to get it. So, okay, if to get your numerical value of your name or your birthday, right? You said the birthday. What did you have to do?
okay, so September 18th, 1950 is me. So 9 plus 1 plus 8 plus 1 plus 9 plus 5 plus 0 equals 33.
Oh,
But
so
you,
you add each number to itself,
right,
not
and
like 1900
10,
and something. No, you can't do that. Okay, so you add each number and then you get the numerical value
yeah,
of
but you
it,
don't,
right?
you don't stop on a double. So if you've got a 33, normally a 33, which is a master teacher, and you are a master teacher. So, but anyhow,
Eh,
okay. But anyhow, a 22 is a master builder, and a 11 is a master initiator or creator, you might
uh-huh.
say. And anyhow, so the if you get to a double number, 99 is a double number. That's a power number. It's the highest
Right.
power number. Anyhow, then you add those together. So the 3 plus the 3 equals the 6. And in that,
Wow.
so the 6 is family and community, and that's the uh, life path for me is one in which the hardest things to overcome will be in family and community. Now,
Wow. I got
now
36.
you got 36, which is a 9. It's wisdom. 3 plus 6 equals the 9. Yeah.
Right.
So you're walking a wisdom path. So, and
Hey.
the
Wow.
hardest things to overcome, though, will likely be have to do with wisdom. So it'll be wisdom that you have, and you can't believe other people don't have it,
I
or
do.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, like that could be, yeah, and then you're like, oh my God, I told him that 22 times. What the heck is the matter? What's going on here? Why can't people understand what I'm saying? I'm
Thank
speaking in
you.
words of one syllable.
I
Like,
know. I say that all the time. That's like my motto. It's like, I'm misunderstood. I'm weird. Okay, you'll never get it. I give up.
that's pure nine stuff there. Yeah,
I
definitely.
give
Yeah.
up. I'm done with you. I'm just so
You can't give up. You can only say you give up, but
yeah.
there's no give up in you. It just keeps okay. It will find its way out of you. If it's not out of, looking to the right, it'll find you looking to the left, and all of a sudden you'll be right back in the game.
My gosh, you pinpointed me so good. You were like, "Hey, why don't you get it? Really? You don't understand it?" I have problems with making friends too because I got to be around people that
Yeah,
get it. And if they don't get
yeah.
it, they don't get me, they don't understand me, then they think I'm weird.
Well, that gets back to the generous listening.
Mm,
They don't have a generous listening for your level of intellect. They're confused by it. So you have to find a place where you can ping pong with people that are somewhat in the same dominion of consciousness that you are. And
wow.
it's not wrong for them to not be able to get you. I mean, it's just kind of that's the path they're walking. Okay, and
Wow.
everybody walks every path. So if you're a 9, you're an old soul. Okay,
That's what I think I am. I always told my mother, I gave birth to you.
And
I said,
I
"You're
can
aging
hear that.
backwards."
I can, I can hear that as being so too.
I
Yeah,
told her, I
yeah,
said, "I gave birth to you, woman. Don't you know you hatched from an egg?" But I mean, it just wow. Yeah, you pinpointed me. So if someone wanted to find their numerical value, like you found yours, it would be all the numbers added together individually, and then
yes.
the two numbers that you come up with, you add those two together, and you come up with your number.
It,
That is
it's
that is what you're saying,
normally
right?
yeah. And then what you do is you just say, get on your phone or computer, and you say, what does a life path of 6 mean in numerology? And computer will spit it
Wow,
up at you. So
that
you
is
can
amazing.
go, yeah, you can do that with your computer after we're off the phone call. And you can say, what does a 9 mean? And then
Wow,
you can strut around that room. Whoa.
my gosh. Now, it's so interesting because a lot of people don't realize that you just pinpointed me and you really don't. I mean, you know me, but you don't know me. And so it's like
Right.
when I said that I was a 36, you said that's a 9. That's like wow, you know. Um, to me, that's like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just like hit it on the nail. And plus, like the book itself hits it on the nail. It's like I said before, it's so parallel to your life. Like here is your life and what happened to you, and here is the book. You did that on purpose so that people probably could understand what you went through,
Yeah.
but in
So
a
they can
different
yeah.
universe.
Yeah. So they could relate to it and relate to it in a way that allows them to look at their own lives
Mhm.
and do a similar sort of thing.
Right.
Because everybody's life is a different story, and
Yeah.
everybody's here to learn different lessons. Not, and we just went through that. I'm not here to live a 9 life path, although I wish I was.
Oh my gosh. I don't
I'm,
understand. I
I'm
don't
here.
get it. Like, what is this is driving me absolutely crazy that people don't get it, and it just drives me mad. It's not the
I
9, I
I
guess
love wisdom, and I
I
love
I
water
I
too.
gotta say that the 9 path it's sort of like, and this is where I start getting super weird. It's sort of like a light that hits someone and they go like this because it's too bright, and
Large,
it's
yeah,
like
large.
you try to like penetrate with, and then they just refuse and they turn your light out. And it's like, oh,
Oh
I can't,
yeah,
I
and that
can't.
I know. It's just
And
sad.
it's frustrating. It truly is frustrating. There are certain things that you want people to understand. You want them to get you.
Yeah, yeah,
It doesn't work like
yeah,
that. It doesn't work
yeah.
like
I wrote the book to be in service and of service to mankind. Okay,
that. Mhm.
and my channel said I wrote egotistical book. I say I wrote a macro. I wrote uh, a book that identifies all the key ingredients to the background play that we're in, each as
Mhm.
individuals, as societies, as a planet, the whole Megillah. And I did that without actually knowing I was doing it. But I think
Mhm.
it's important that I've shared things about my own life in order that it created a human link to the concepts I'm articulating in the book, because some of them may be kind of large and people may go, well, I can't relate to that, except the little kid that got up off the ground after being got up twice after
Mhm.
being killed. Okay, give me
Yeah,
a break.
I
Read the
hear you.
book.
I hear you. And I
Read the
love that. I love that the well, what I one thing that I don't understand. How would I say this? I know that I haven't really been able to kind of engulf myself into the book.
Mhm,
But from what I've understood so far about your book, is
mhm.
that it does kind of intrigue one's personal life to be like, wait a minute, that is so familiar. That is like that. I think that part happened to me too. You
Yes.
know, and
Yeah.
and that's what I love about this book. That's what I love about what you've done. And I know it's a fantasy, but it's a fantasy parallel.
Yeah, and what I've said is that the book is a metaphysical book. So meta is above. So it's above the physical. It's a spiritual book,
Mhm.
and as such, every time you read it, you will have different epiphanies. So I advise people I talk to that when they read it, they have a little notepad and they
Mm.
make notes of the epiphanies they have.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Well, if that's so about that, then what about me in this? Make your notes. And
That's
then
it.
when you put your book down and walk away from it for 6 months or something, because you need a breather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need a breather. And then you said, I'm going to read that book again. You read it again. Don't look at your previous notes. Just open to a new note page and take notes again. And you'll have entirely different notes because the person reading the book the second time is not the person that read the book the first time. And that's the meta. It's a metaphysical, it's just transformational, and
Mhm.
it's tremendously transformational in human beings. And
Wow.
so it's not just a fact book,
Right.
E equals MC squared. Okay.
Yeah, no,
You
of
know,
course. Of course not.
because because maybe 90% of the book is you.
Mm.
10% of the book is just taunting you to come out.
Wow. Wow.
Something, you know.
Well, I mean, I'm out.
Always to have fun, right? Always to
De-
have fun. Don't come out
definitely,
to people wrong.
definitely
Always,
not. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
what is the plan? I mean, now that you're doing this, now that you have your books out, people are actually their lives are probably being changed. Who knows?
Yeah.
But uh what's in the future? Are you going to be writing some more books? Are you going to be book touring? What is going on with you?
Well, what I had talked about the beings from the two different planets, the third and fourth dimensional current planet we're on, and the fifth dimensional planet that was created in the first book.
Mm.
Those beings, I will write a book about those beings swapping places. You know,
Ooh.
so cross fertilization of the species.
Mm.
Okay, and I will be writing books about what it is like to be in the fifth dimension of consciousness, like the visceral experience of it. Right now, how I would see it is Mother Earth, and she was taken to the fifth dimension of consciousness in 1945 when my beings came over from the other side of the universe because the sun was going to wrap the Earth in a fist of coronal mass extrusion, killing everything 1,000 miles deep. And so anyhow, they intervened and told the sun to stand down, but the sun's still just standing down until the game's finished. It's not finished.
Mm.
And if they don't actually get the Earth to the fifth dimension of consciousness with a lot of her people, then the sun will finish the job. So anyhow, it's uh, they have said to me they anticipate 4 billion people going with Mother Earth uh, to the fifth dimension of consciousness, and I can see them on her, and I can see her visually. She has form. Everybody has form, but no mass. I can see her as an 8,000 mile round sphere, pure white energy, just absolute pure white energy. And
Mm.
on her are all these little specks of color, and that's all their human beings that came on, and they go from just being almost invisible to being coloring the entire surface of her because they can, and they do it, and they have races. They race each other around the sun. They're in contact with her, and they have a visceral feeling of love for her as they're in touch with her. And this energy is so profound that they just do this for centuries, just playing like this with each other. That's the first really powerful visualization I've had. But you need to have something to look forward to, as
Yeah.
opposed to, well, you're just going to wait until you get born again. And
Yeah,
I'm telling you, there is so much it's so much more uh, available in the fifth dimension of consciousness with no physical body
yeah,
than there is here in the third and fourth with a physical body. There's just so much more available. And I'm going to just start articulating my impressions of it in a book. And so that's the kind of the end game of I'm going to say, hey, we have a real problem here. We're fixing it with penguin people.
yeah.
Okay, then here we
Oh,
came over here. Now we all go to the fifth dimension of consciousness and we're going to play for centuries. Boom,
yeah.
like that, you know?
There you go. I hear you.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, I want to thank you so much, Andrew, for being on the show today. Man, I tell you, if and you know, and I've asked this question before to you. If someone has a story, they are scared to tell it. Should they do what you did? Should they do a parallel?
interesting. If they're, hmm, hmm, interesting. Well, I do think that writing, whatever, if you have it inside of you, you're afraid to tell it to people, but you want to clarify your thoughts on it. Then just start writing it up and start clarifying your thoughts, and then go back to what I was saying about judgmental listening versus generous listening. Read what you've written. Are you being generous to the situation? Are you being judgmental? Are you being generous to yourself? Are you being judgmental of yourself? And use that to allow you to heal yourself.
Hmm.
Use that to allow your higher beings to guide you and heal you. Have the story be their linchpin to you so they are organically connected to your story and they can fix the, the they can remove the hooks from your mouth. Okay.
No. Wow. That is amazing. Thank you so much for that advice. I think a lot of people may be scared to tell their story.
Oh yeah.
But if they can hide behind the parallel and then talk about it a little bit later and come out, I
Yeah.
think that might help.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah.
Well,
100%.
thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Even with all the disruptions and stuff, we're beaming, right?
We got it. We
We
did
got
it.
it.
We
Okay.
got it. We did it. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Man, I tell you, there is a QR code on your screen that you can go ahead and scan if you're watching on TV, or you can just go ahead and go to the website or the Amazon link that's in the description box below and check this out for yourself. And it's just an amazing book. It's an amazing story, but not only that, it's a parallel. And when you do parallels, it gets really interesting. So we want to thank you so much. Again, thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you.
You're so sweet, Yaya.
Thank you.
For
And thank
everything.
you guys so much. And don't forget to dare to be different. I guess I'm a 9, so I'm really different. I don't know if you want to be daring to be this different, though. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for watching.